Well, if it isn't my dear partners.
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today.
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuild. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timeline. Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, our financial situation right now is, though just pieces of paper now.
Whoa! Spoken like a true pres-
Oh, you bet. So before I came over this time, I took a page from Melusa's book. And then, but after running a
That does sound like you, all right.
Oh, wanna take-
Let Paimon see! This looks like a piece of kelp wrap.
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment.
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you...
Thank you for your... I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it.
Well, now you know for next...
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most. Worst comes to worst.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
Yep, that's the plan. You said you don't have any plans.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not.
Then let's go.
Oh, you mean the aquabus, right?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The aquabus doesn't have it. All right, follow me. The engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask.
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine...
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why is it Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to...
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses... You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already committed...
Yeah, that's what Paimon said.
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going... But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was all, from what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as...
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the grid.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep...
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then It'll be a while before we get to Poisson.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person? Oh, Paimon's sorry. She totally forgot that you...
That's all right. I've heard many stories about her from the... While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly super cheerful and funny. My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make...
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic business...
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. But sometimes I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina... Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to... So, over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our... I've lost many beloved people and memory. The fact won't change that they existed in my life, and gave always. But no matter what, I tell myself that I need... Besides, I'm the president. We've reached the shore.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right? Okay, Paimon supposes you're...
Boss, you're back! Traveler in Paimon!
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care of Navi and...
Hey, I can totally... We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really nice to have...
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected...
All right. There's no need to be... Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make...
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get...
You're commissioning a...
So, basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents, but since my father was known as Callus the Unfaithful, but now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being...
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clement...
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just...
I agree wholeheartedly.
Hey, if... Just kidding. There's no way that I... Thanks anyway, Florent. Now it's up to...
We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good but we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few...
There's no need for all... Hey, you! Come over here with me. Modeling a few poses of...
That's...
Didn't you say on the boat that Callus and Clementine sounded like great partners? Florent, let's go...
You've got it, boss!
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas? Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent, so I want to pick your brain for a bit and see if...
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose! It ma-
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit... If we were to stick with this pose, maybe...
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day.
Oh, Paimon was just kidding!
What Florent meant... You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts. Let's try to come up with something else. By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind... Look over there, my dear Clementine. As you can see, every tree on that...
But there's something...
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan.
Wait, but we can't do that.
But then, since we're putting it in the town...
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
A happy pose.
Would we even be able to tell what they're...
Yeah, and that'd probably be a...
Could one of you try that act... we tried...
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference. Man, if I knew I was going to... Oh, outfits!
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr...
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join this. But how could I get her to believe that I meant what I said? But I got so busy and
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to pick...
On the matter of the statue...
We could have just done that from the... Yeah.
Navia! Florent, guess...
Huh?
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the fort...
That's right. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to... You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's...
It's good to have you back, Colt.
And...
Let me introduce you. This is Coulter. Another of Spina di, but looking at it now, it was probably.
Wait, Mr. Marcel.
Have you not heard anything at all about...
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded.
Oh, looks like we'll have. First things first, let me introduce you to these two.
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't
Yeah, we are indeed pretty.
Humble again, as always.
Nice. Spina di Oh, that reminds me. Where...
Coulter, a lot of things happened while you were gone.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome home.
I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Luce and Melissa. Luce.
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years.
Oh, let's sit down somewhere.
All of this. It's unbelievable.
I think you and I both feel the same way.
I thought Mr. Marcel would always... It's unconscionable to foresee...
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is no more. We finally...
Are you sure? But if Marcel...
Romu?
Florent should remember him. You see, there was once a... Romeo was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of Mora would be... But Mr. Callis believed that an opportunity... Not only would the Aquabus be a good business investment, but the two couldn't come to an agreement.
And with Papa...
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of...
Yeah. You could say it was the price he paid for...
Oh, that's a good point. If Callus was really as stubborn as you said...
Oh, yeah. It eventually became a thing that just happened on... It used to be a lot better with taking counsel. But on the matter of the Aquabus...
I never knew.
I think the Aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's... They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve as an impartial mediator when she...
So, they thought, but... That doesn't make any sense. Before she was their mediator, my mother was also...
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. Of course, Miss Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callis began to regard the completion of the...
So that's what...
From that point on, Romeo and his people cut ties with the Spina. It never gave us any kind of... Perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But even so...
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while.
I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeo had my father in their sights for a very long... Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about Romeo's... With how distracted and vulnerable we are...
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an...
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter.
Don't worry, it's nothing. I've heard so many incredulous...
In that case, why don't we go back to the court? Want to come with me again, you two?
Of course.
Then let's go! Paimon feels like a lot's hinging on this visit. Are we not taking the boat this time?
It's nice to walk from time to time, isn't it? Think of it as something like a hiking trip. Once we're there, we can stay a few days before we return.
Sounds good. I haven't walked this road in a long time.
Well, we've walked far enough for now. Let's take a break. Since we're out for a walk,
I've grown old, so I'm not.
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to. Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay down. The Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callus was generous, and everyone had the chance. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built. Oh, I know.
then let's stay here a bit.
Oh, is this another chance to try some of
Oh, wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Okay, seems like we're all out of flour and sugar. But, oh, would you?
We should contribute to making the macaron too. Don't worry, we cook out a...
Oh, that's great. Then I'll...
Then I'll go look for some boxes.
Great. Then I'll prep this...